Hey guys, I'm back. I know I'm the worst. You don't have to tell me. I know I made all these big promises about being very committed to my channel, and I really wanted to be, but I was finishing up my master's last year, and so obviously I had like assignments and all that stuff to do, but excuses. I know. I will get better. This year, one of my resolutions that I'm going to keep is to do more stuff that makes me happy so that I stay happy, and this channel is one of them. I really loved doing all those reviews that I did last year and talking about movies, so that's what I'm gonna do. I would do a top 10 movies of 2015. I know that 2015 has been and gone and it's nearly the end of the month at this point, but still I thought that I would just tell you guys what movies I loved from last year and get your opinion on movies that you loved, whether you think I'm an idiot, whether you loved my list, whatever. Let's have a social interaction, okay? So we're gonna be going in ascending order, if I've got that right. I did school. But anyway, starting at number 10, my pick for number 10 is The Intern, which I'm not sure if a lot of people got to watch, but it was a really amazing movie with Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro, which for me had kind of sentimental value because it was the first movie that I ever got to go on the red carpet and see how that whole thing works, and it was like really overwhelming and amazing because Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro were right there, and I was like, oh my god, am I alive right now? But it was a really cute movie, so sweet, and had laughs and tears, and is that kind of movie that you can go and watch with your parents and both of you will come out of it going, that was a really lovely movie, like on a Sunday after having a Sunday roast. Oh yeah, that's the kind of movie it is. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. My number 9 pick is Trainwreck, which is written by Amy Schumer, who's a really, really funny female comedian. I've seen some of her show on Comedy Central, but not a lot of it. I think I started watching her more because of the movie that came out. It was so funny from like a female perspective, and it kind of turned the whole the way people see sexes on its head. Like, she was the guy, if you will. Like, she was the one going out and enjoying herself, picking up guys, and then just like leaving the next day and not caring or like kicking them out. And then finally she ends up falling for someone, and it's a train wreck basically. And I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh. So yeah, that was a really great movie, especially for like written by a female empowerment. Yeah. Going on to number 8, which also goes along the lines of the female comedians, with Spy, which had Melissa McCarthy, which was so funny, so unbelievably funny. Like, she is one of those comedians where she is so funny and so kind of crass, but like, it's okay because your mum finds her funny. Like, we went to watch it with like my very like, not like strict or anything, but like kind of conservative African mum, and she found it so funny. We were just like basically rolling around laughing, and it was just so smart and just funny from start to finish, and I loved that movie. My number 7 pick has to go to a Marvel movie. Obviously, we all know I'm a Marvel girl. So Ant-Man was my number 7 pick for last year. It was really surprising because I had no idea how they were gonna make this movie work. And it just did, it really did, like on a small scale if you watch it. And having Paul Rudd as the leading man was just the best like comedic relief. Like, obviously everyone was like not gonna take Ant-Man seriously, so having someone who doesn't take himself seriously as well as the lead actor was a really great choice, and the storyline was really interesting, and it was a really great movie. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to number 6, again with the Marvel, it has to be Age of Ultron, which I really enjoyed. It was a great sequel to the Avengers. I mean, it didn't top it because I don't think you can top Avengers, because Joss Whedon went above and beyond with Avengers, and I think he was a bit more restricted by Disney. He was a bit more restricted by Disney this time round, and he didn't get to have that sort of creative freedom to do all the crazy stuff that he wanted to do. So I enjoyed Age of Ultron. It was great. It was the same kind of the shots of them all together, the 360 shot near the end when they're all fighting the Ultron bots. Oh my god, I die. I loved it, and I liked having Hawkeye's storyline a bit more, and knowing that he's more than just like Hawkeye, this like weird guy, and you got to see more of his wittiness, which obviously in the first one he kind of got drowned out by everyone else. But this one was a step up. I think it was just kind of leading us on to like Civil War and then the Infinity Saga, the Infinity War. So I'm definitely looking forward to the other Marvel films that are coming up. And number 5 goes to a Pixar movie, which was Inside Out. I went to actually watch this movie on my own because I couldn't find anyone to go watch it. It was so sad. But I went and watched it on my own, and I was just like watching this movie in tears by the end, like just like, it's so beautiful, it's telling exactly how I feel my feelings. But it's just so smart. I never understand how like Pixar sits, like the teams of people sit down and come up with the concepts that they come up with, because they're just so smart and so well executed, and the storylines are just so great that I'm just like in awe of what they create. And Inside Out was just one of those where you're just like, this story is so perfect, and it's gonna really help a lot of young adults and teenagers, like even like adults, because like I felt like it was helping me and teaching me how to deal with like my emotions and how to like verbalize them and stuff like that. But it was a really great movie. It was really sweet and lovely, and it gives you all those warm fuzzy feelings, which I now think are like trademarked by Pixar. You don't feel a warm or fuzzy feeling unless you're watching a Pixar movie, basically. Yeah. Okay, so my number 4 pick is Mad Max Fury Road, which was an extravaganza of like visuals, and it was just a beautiful movie to watch. There wasn't like a ton of like dialogue or anything like that, but visually it was just stunning to watch, and it was a really great piece for Charlize Theron. She was so good as Furiosa, and it was kind of like you forgot about Max, which it was based on, because he was just like there grunting a lot. But obviously Tom Hardy's not like, it's not bad to look at him and see him grunt or whatever. But it was a really great movie. Like the female cast in it was very strong, and I really enjoyed watching it for that, as well as like the visuals that were in it. So it was a really great movie, and I loved it. I know it's a lot of people's like favorite movie of 2015, but I have other suggestions, okay? Hold up, wait a second. Let's get to number 3. So my number 3 pick is Kingsman: The Secret Service, which is a British film about a group of kids who get selected to join the Secret Service that kind of protects the world against bad guys. And the bad guy in this movie was Samuel L. Jackson, who played just a funny bad guy with a weird lisp, and like just like this tech genius who kind of wants to just not destroy the world or kill the world. He just wants to stop overpopulation. So he thinks the best way to do it is to like invent this thing that will make people go crazy and start killing each other. And when the Kingsmen find out, they have to stop it. But the main character is this kid from London, and he's just like a kid who lives on an estate, who hasn't got much going for him, but his dad used to be in the same service, but he died during it. So like this guy feels like he owes him a favor, and it's just it was a very unexpected movie, because I didn't expect it, first of all, to be I think it was a 15, because I was watching it and I thought it was like one of those top A movies I'd never noticed nowadays, because I'm old enough to watch all the movies. I thought it was just going to be like a nice movie with no swearing, nothing, and it was just like swearing and occasional butts like randomly in there, like at the end. But it was just really smart and surprising for me. It was very well done. I really enjoyed Kingsman. So that is my number 3 pick from 2015. My number 2 pick is Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which again was, I think a lot of the theme of this list, it should be just movies that surprised Kim, because obviously like it had a lot of pressure, this movie. J.J. Abrams had so much pressure going into making this, because we all remember the prequels and they weren't great. Like, that's a nice way of saying it. So this one, there was so much expectation. People were expecting it to be like horrendous again, or they were expecting it to be like really great. No one expects movies just to be alright, like just to enjoy it. But this one is really, I enjoyed it from beginning to end, even without being a Star Wars fan. I think, although it's nice because there were those like little nudges to the fans, like, oh my god, look at that piece of junk, and then it's like the Falcon, and then you're like, oh. Like, those little moments were really priceless and really lovely. But I think if you're not even a Star Wars fan, you could have gone into the movie and really enjoyed it from beginning to end and just been completely consumed and absorbed in the movie and not got distracted. So I really loved that. I loved Force Awakens, and I'm really excited to see what they have, the other sequels that are coming out. I'm very excited to see what they have for that. So finally, my number 1 pick. Number 1, what could it be? There's so many films I've said. What could I possibly be picking? It's gonna be surprising, because it's not a movie that's like particularly, even for me, it's surprising. Surprising. Because it's not an action movie, which is generally my thing. Action, adventure, sci-fi, comic book related. Those are my movies, that's my jam. But this one, I watched at the beginning of last year with my friend. It was like a Cineworld preview thing, and we went and watched it not knowing what to expect, and it's Ex Machina, which was just a sublime movie. Only had 3 actors, and it was like one of those enclosed in just like a few sets, and instead of just being like feeling really bored and sleeping, which I have been known to do in some movies that aren't great, but this one I stayed engrossed in. It was so clever and so smart. Like, this AI was working this guy the entire time in order to break out and break free, and it was just so crazy that, spoiler if you haven't watched it, but he ends up kind of getting screwed over by this AI who he thinks is his friend, and the inventor is just this like madman who's gone crazy from being alone, which makes me worry because I'm like on my own most of the time, so I should probably go out and socialize so that I don't like create a robot to be my friend who's gonna like lock me somewhere to die forever. But yeah, I loved it because it was just small cast and just a very small setting, but it worked, and it was so clever and so smart, and I'm just really surprised that it hasn't been nominated for more awards. But I don't nominate the awards, but if it was the Kim Award, it would have won. So those were my top 10 movies of 2015. Tell me what you think about it. Does my list suck? Is it awesome? Is there some stuff that I should have added? Are there some films that I forgot about? Probably are, because I don't know if I'm a massive fan of making top 10 lists, because you always change your mind, and I'm someone who changes her mind every single day. But yeah, that's the list that I came up with, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to continue to make more videos, and I should have another one coming out about my favorite movies coming out this year, like movies I'm excited for and pumped for this year. So watch out for that one. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye. Whoa. Okay, whatever. So finally, my number one pick. Number one, what could by Pixar? You don't feel a warm or fuzzy feeling unless you're watching a Pixar movie, basically. Yeah. I have something in my eye that's so fucking annoying. So annoying. Sorry guys. It's so gross. It hurts. Why is it attacking me now? Rude.